Tonight, armed robbery arrests.
5 robberies in one day by 5 suspects is pretty heavy-duty stuff.
A crime spree that hit Cambridge and other locations, and what police say.
So this was a great call that patrol responded to in the sense of just great collaboration.
Helped lead them toward the suspects. Gunfire in Cambridge.
We do believe that the people involved did park directly in front of the house and then shot directly at the house.
A home riddled with bullets.
It's giving me an idea of like gun culture is being common here, what's happening here.
And a neighborhood left shaken. Plus, tree time.
It kind of kicks off the Christmas season, the holiday season in Uptown Waterloo.
The story behind the spruce for this season's tradition.
I thought it's actually a nice tree. Maybe I'll try to donate it.
In Waterloo Public Square. Good evening. We begin with gunfire shattering a quiet street in Cambridge early this morning. A home was riddled with more than a dozen bullets in a shooting that police say was targeted. They've released this video tonight in their investigation. Officers looking to identify and speak with the owner and occupants of this vehicle about the incident that happened just before 2 o'clock this morning along Arthur Falk Drive in Cambridge. Now, no one was hurt in the shooting, and again, police say they believe this was targeted, but the ordeal has left people in the area shaken. CTV's Hannah Schmidt was in the neighborhood today and brings us more.
Investigators gathering evidence after an overnight shooting along Arthur Falk Drive in Cambridge.
I thought I'll take a smoke. I just came outside, but I could hear like a couple of gunshot sounds.
Red tape covers up about 14 bullet holes on this house, which police say was hit around 1:45 a.m.
At the time of the incident, there was occupants inside. However, nobody was physically injured. We do believe that the people involved did park directly in front of the house and then shot directly at the house.
First, initially, I thought it's like a firecracker or something like that, but I'm not familiar with these things, right? But then after like 5 or 6 shots, then I heard a tire squeezing sound. That's a time where I figured like, okay, it's a gunshot.
The suspects already gone by the time police arrived. Investigators spent the morning speaking to neighbors and looking for surveillance video.
Just based on the information that they have been obtaining at this point, it is believed to be a targeted incident.
It's left an uneasy feeling in this typically quiet neighborhood.
It's giving me an idea of like gun culture is being common here, what's happening here.
We all are scared because everyone goes, some have a night shifts, sometimes we have a alone at homes. So it's a big concern right now for us. It's always worries like if this happened it regularly in this residential area because there are a lot of children, so it's not a good thing to do.
We are appealing to anybody who may have any digital information such as cameras or surveillance cameras to please let investigators know so that we are able to locate the suspects involved.
Police say their investigation is still in its early stages. As for residents here, they're hoping officers will return with more clarity and reassurance. Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Cambridge.
And chilling new video now capturing the moments when gunfire rang out over the weekend between people in 2 vehicles in Waterloo. The sound of gunfire cutting through the air at Bridgeport and Weber just before 2 o'clock Sunday morning. Police say the people pulling the triggers were in 2 different dark-colored vehicles. It's believed that 1 person was hurt in the incident. This security video that was released by regional police also shows drivers in other vehicles advancing and backing away during the shootout. Investigators hoping to speak with the people from the vehicles in this video to learn more about what happened. No suspect descriptions have been released at this time. Well, next, arrests in another series of smash and grab robberies in the area. Cambridge Centre among the locations hit yesterday in a spree of crimes that have 5 people from the Toronto area arrested and charged. CTV's Colton Weens now on how the work of a security guard helped lead police toward the arrests.
Holy.
Ryan O'Hare was walking in Cambridge Centre with his 3-year-old daughter early Monday evening when he recorded this attempted armed robbery at Yang's jewelry store.
And I seen some guy chomping at the glass windows.
The suspects reportedly armed with handguns and sledgehammers. O'Hare says police arrived quickly.
There was a police that came in and his gun was fully drawn. And yeah, more cops started coming in, and then then a cop came by with like this huge automatic rifle, and right in the Cambridge Mall.
Security at Cambridge Centre had called police reporting a suspicious vehicle that police say turned out to be stolen and linked to some other robberies. When officers arrived, the jewelry store robbery was in progress.
Officers were quick to react and were able to arrest the individuals. And as a result, we were able to arrest them all for robbery-related charges as well as weapon-related charges.
The suspects range in age from 15 to 22. Police say they've also connected them to a string of other crimes, including a robbery in the Pine Bush and Hespeler area, during which they fled after a struggle with a loss prevention officer, and an incident at Conestoga Mall where security intervened.
There's been a lot of public criticism because security guards haven't jumped up and said halt, in the name of the law when some of these, very potentially violent robberies have occurred. But they are there to observe, make notes, notify the police of what they see, and in this case, that worked. So good for them.
Police also seized 2 loaded handguns from the suspects.
They were loaded with ammunition and could have been used.
These guys just didn't go running in with, baby rattles and hope to break some glass in a case. They had guns. And so they're either prepared to use them against people they were robbing or against people that tried to interfere or against the police.
And Lewis says the guns could also be a factor in any future sentencings. In the meantime, police say they're working to see if the group is connected to any other crimes. Colton Weens, CTV News, Cambridge.
A homicide investigation is underway in Kitchener, where a woman is charged with murder in the death of another woman at an apartment complex off Highland Road West yesterday. CTV's Spencer Turcott has those details.
Several police cruisers were on scene at the old fire hall apartments in Kitchener Monday night, the aftermath of a more chaotic afternoon.
At approximately 12:50 p.m., police responded to a residence in the area of Highland Road West and Patricia Avenue in Kitchener in response to disturbance.
That disturbance later deemed a homicide.
They sent a full party, so SWAT included. They had battering rams, they had shields, straight out of a TV show, like straight out of like Cops or like a horror movie.
Upon arrival, officers located a deceased individual and a female was taken into custody.
The accused is a 40-year-old Kitchener woman who has been charged with the first-degree murder of a 44-year-old Kitchener woman. Investigators believe the people involved knew each other. A former tenant of the apartment complex says this isn't the first time police have shown up because of the accused.
Several months ago, there was another instance with the exact same person. So a lot of neighbors have actually moved because of her, because of our safety was in concern. And I moved partly because of the safety concern, but also because of personal reasons.
Officers spent much of the afternoon and evening going between apartment units and speaking with residents trying to piece things together. The former tenant we heard from worries for the children who live in the complex.
Watching little kids go underneath the yellow tape was probably the hardest thing, like knowing that those kids are going to be traumatized and asking their parents, like, why is there yellow tape?
Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
In Wellington County, the OPP are investigating a home invasion and shooting in Morriston, and they say people can expect an increased police presence in the area as their work continues. OPP vehicles were parked outside a house on Victoria Street today. Police were called around 4:40 Sunday morning for a report of a home invasion. When emergency responders arrived, one person was found with a gunshot wound. They were taken to a trauma center for treatment and are now in stable condition. Police say they're looking for 4 people who fled in a 4-door sedan before officers arrived. Police releasing these photos as part of that investigation, and they're also looking for any surveillance or dash cam footage that was captured along Highway 6 between the 401 and the QEW Sunday between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. as they try to figure out where the suspects came from and where they went.
If you have, and even the smallest detail that people may not think is important may very well be important to our investigation. So we encourage people to take a look at their footage.
The OPP also telling us that preliminary information suggests this is an isolated incident. In Mississauga, police are asking for help finding a driver who struck and killed a pedestrian. A driver, they say, stopped their vehicle not to help the victim, but to remove their license plate. CTV's Janice Golding reports.
Amidst a scattering of handwritten notes and flowers, 4 words stand out. "We love you, Dad." A heartbreaking message to a Mississauga man killed in a hit and run Friday night.
I saw he was right by that pole over there, all the way down there.
Witnesses say the 56-year-old victim was dragged a block before he was left for dead. The driver of the vehicle that struck him taking off without checking on him.
My sister was feeling really bad about it and saying if we had went outside maybe earlier, then we could have done something about it.
The accident happened just after 9 p.m. Friday. Police say a man was walking in the intersection when he was struck by the driver of a Mini Cooper S who failed to remain.
No way. Oh my God, no. Because he's a dad, he's a father, he's a husband.
While they didn't want to appear on camera today, family members have identified the victim as Santosh Kumar Patra. On a GoFundMe page fundraiser, his daughter describes Patra as a family-oriented, kind man who loved sharing stories, adding, "The grief of losing him in such a manner is shocking, and we are struggling to process this heavy loss." Meanwhile, Peel police say they've uncovered new surveillance video
that shows moments after the crash, that person stopping the vehicle, getting out, and taking his rear plate off and concealing it in the trunk before fleeing the area.
It's really bad. I mean, I don't know what kind of person he is, but lots of things going on lately in the city.
Obviously, it's not right. I mean, she knows he's done something wrong and he's trying to conceal himself.
That means that not only was he not sorry for what he did, he knew what he did and tried to run away from it because he really didn't care.
Police say the suspect vehicle sustained substantial damage to the front passenger side and the hood and windshield area.
Janice Golding filing that report out of Mississauga for us. Okay, time for a first check on the weather. Heading over to Alex Pinto in the studio now on what has been a pretty nice sunny afternoon and even felt a little milder out there today.
Yeah, it did. It was nice to get a little bit of that dose of vitamin D out there today. And looking ahead to tomorrow, looks like we could be in for a little bit more sunshine with a little bit of cloud cover before we potentially could see a little bit of wet weather later on in the week, which we'll get into a little bit. But as we look at our satellite and radar map, seeing maybe a few clouds out there for us here in Waterloo Region and surrounding areas. If you are in the Windsor area or closer to that area, potentially some mixing conditions you could see as the evening continues. Right now, we are dropping temperature-wise -1 in Kitchener-Waterloo. Our daytime high was 4 degrees today. We were expected just to hit about 3, so lucky for us, 1 degree warmer. 3 in Toronto, 2 in Hamilton, and 0 if you are in the city of London this hour. But yes, will we see a little bit of a warm up and more on that sunshine coming up in your full forecast a little bit later. Tony, I'll send it back over to you.
Alex, thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Former employees of disgraced grocery store Dutchie's Fresh Market say even up to its very last day of operation, there were people who weren't getting paid. This week, CTV News spoke with 3 recent employees, one of whom says he was there cleaning out the store on its final day and who says he is still owed nearly $10,000. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us now live outside that recently closed Waterloo location. Jeff, you know, this is a similar thing that we've been hearing from so many people for the last year and a half now.
Yeah, Tony, once again, all these 3 alleged victims, all immigrants to Canada. 2 of them are very young and also new to speaking English. They say in addition to not getting paid their wages, they were continually misled, and now they join a long list of people still waiting to be paid for their work. It's a reunion of sorts for 3 former Dutchie's employees outside the now shuttered store.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because what I go through and the rest of the people, I don't want so much more other people to go through. The man is such a slime ball. It's not funny.
3 employees with no love lost for their former employer, Dutchie's business director, Michael Rankema.
He's such a loser, man. I don't know what more words can come to describe the guy.
When I came to Canada, when I saw the people, the religion, like the culture, like I love them, like, but not Mike. Like he's like very bad person.
Waliullah came to Canada from Afghanistan, fleeing the Taliban.
And the Afghanistan situation is not good. That's why like we had to move in there to make a better life.
He says initially he was excited to find a job, but by the second week, it started to go bad.
Then he make my one check. He didn't like make my full hours, and I asked him like I work like more than like this. He said, no, I'm not paying for you guys because like there's no customer, there's no busy. You guys didn't put something.
While the Ula worked at Dutchie's from March until the final day of operation on November 1st. In total, he says he is owed nearly $10,000. Money he says his family desperately needs.
I'm sending like some money to my mom every bi-weekly. She's in Pakistan right now. She's in the hospital. I have to send money for her operation.
18-year-old Fortuna's family arrived from Eritrea in 2021.
I started on August. And my last was on September.
Starting nursing college in January, she says she is owed around $700.
And he didn't give me for 3 weeks. Before he was giving me, but he was taking back the money, the check, and we were fighting.
Roy started working at Dutchie's part-time after closing down his own small grocery store.
Come one day to shop, and I look at the store, and I talk with one guy, and he said they're hiring.
He says a few shifts of part-time work turned into running the store.
I've been starting to put in like 60, 70, almost 80 hours a week. I'm alone start to run the whole store because people are coming and quitting. People are quitting all the time.
He says from the start, payment was late, irregular, insufficient, or never came.
One time my cousin passed away. I had to tell him my brother passed away just to get some money. He gave me a check. He looked at his brother, him and his brother, and they smile and they give me a check for $14.41. 3 days after, the check bounced.
Roy says he'd left the job several times but came back hoping to get his unpaid wages.
I always have about 4 or 5 week pay behind. So for you to get that, you have to come back or else you wouldn't get. So I end up towards the end and I say enough is enough. I'm gonna have to cut my last.
Roy claims he is owed over $10,000.
You can't run a store like that. First of all, you have to have respect for your employee. He have no respect for his employee.
We reached out to Dutchie's former business director, Michael Renkema, who did not wish to comment on the record. In a previous statement from Dutchie's announcing their closure, they said this closure will allow Mike to focus on his health and other commitments, including those to former employees, suppliers, and others. Mike will honor all promises he made to employees and suppliers, a promise recent employees hope come true.
So all what I want, I work, I should get my pay. That's it. I don't care what the outcome is, but I need my money.
A reminder, these are allegations at this time, and all 3 former employees say they have filed a complaint with the Ministry of Labor, and these employees, they are hopeful that that promise from Dutchie's to former employees is a sincere one. Tony?
Jeff Pickle live in front of the former Dutchie's in Waterloo. Jeff, thank you for your reporting on this once again. And coming up next for us, pushback over the province's move to shake up school boards. The last round of debate on a bill that's being fast-tracked and why some educators say they don't like what's going on.
I'm Heather Centerin. A tense budget meeting at Cambridge City Hall last night due to new rules that didn't allow city staff to answer any questions. After significant pushback from councillors, the rules changed once again. That story is just ahead.
Nice to see a bit of that sunshine out there this afternoon. More on when we could see it once again this week, and also when we could potentially be in for a little bit of wet weather. That's coming up in your full forecast.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, some tense moments at a budget meeting in Cambridge last night. Councillors say they're frustrated with the process the city's put in place this year as they navigate changes implemented under strong mayor powers. CTV's Heather Centerin live now with more. Heather, councillors actually raised a number of concerns.
Tony, new rules were implemented that required city councilors who wanted to propose amendments to the budget to talk with the city staff before the meeting. They also weren't allowed to ask questions of staff during the meeting. Councilors raised so many concerns that the new rules were reversed mid-meeting. The city says the rules were put in place in an attempt to make this whole process run easier, but some councilors felt the new rules encroach on democracy.
And if you want to upset a councillor, get in the way of us representing our residents.
Cambridge City councillors are not mincing their words when it comes to how they felt about Monday night's budget amendment meeting.
It was setting us up for failure.
They don't like how it was handled by city staff.
I do believe it encroaches on democracy.
It has been a really challenging few days for us all, trying to work through this, navigate this.
Cambridge is navigating creating budgets using strong mayor powers, where the mayor is to present the budget, not staff or council. Councillors are then allowed to propose amendments.
There were no problems last year, but it seemed this year that there were just some, there was rules that were just kind of implemented on the fly that made us say, what's going on here?
On Friday, councillors were told their amendments didn't qualify for Monday night's meeting because it didn't meet new criteria that they say wasn't clearly communicated.
In order for an amendment to meet the criteria, councillors had to consult with staff prior to. That criteria was not part of the presentation to council on October the 14th, nor was it mentioned in any emails from the acting clerk.
Minutes before Monday's meeting, another change. They were allowed to present their amendments, but no questions were to be asked the city staff.
It was confusing, but I'm glad we sorted it. It was a bit painful last night.
The city manager says the new rules were put in place in an effort to make the budget process more smooth. He says it's only been 2 years since strong mayor legislation has been in effect, and they're still working on figuring out what works best while following the tight 30-day deadline from when the budget is presented to when it has to be approved.
This isn't, just the mayor's budget and then nothing else happens. All members of council have full authority, full responsibility to make changes to the actual budget.
Halfway into Monday's meeting, after pushback from councillors, the city shifted gears and went back to providing answers to questions at the meeting.
So we gave some criteria on saying this is what we think an amendment is. Some of it sat well with council, some of it did not.
City staff say they are not closing the door to any conversation, and they're hoping councillors continue to provide more feedback to improve the budget process for next year. The next budget meeting is next Monday. That's when city councillors will get to vote on any amendments, as there was no voting in last night's meeting. CTV News did ask to speak with Mayor Jan Liggett for an interview, but an interview was not provided. Tony.
Okay, Heather Centerin with that update. Heather, thank you. And over at Regional Council, a marathon meeting about the region's 2026 budget is underway. It began with presentations about the operating expenses. The original draft budget outlines a 4.94% tax increase on the regional portion of bills. That would work out to around $96 for a home assessed at $350,000, not including the police portion of the budget.
There isn't always agreement on how we should move forward, what is the level of service we need to provide, what we need to invest in. But the good thing is we care about the same things, and we're able to have good conversations with community about these things that we care about.
Well, tonight, Council's going to hear from members of the public, and then they're expected to begin reviewing the capital portion of expenses. The meeting continues tomorrow. Regional Police will present their ask next week. The budget's expected to be finalized December 16th. At Queen's Park, final debate is underway on a controversial education bill which would give the province more control over school boards. As CTV's Siobhan Morris tells us, opponents don't like the way the bill's being fast-tracked.
I recognize the member.
This is the last round of debate on the controversial Bill 33.
They think they can ram it through under the cover of darkness with very little debate.
Something opposition parties say has been a pattern.
The concentration of power at Queen's Park and the erosion of local democratic voices.
The bill fast-tracked, skipping over committee hearings and protracted debate. Educators say it's a sign.
There's something wrong here. There's something nasty taking place.
The legislation forces boards to take on school resource programs if their local police service offers one, and make it easier for the Minister of Education to take the reins of boards. something Paul Calandra has already done 5 times.
The ministry needs to have more authority to step into school boards that have gone off the rails. We have more than enough examples of that.
While Calandra insists he doesn't have any immediate takeover plans when the bill passes, he is keeping an eye on the Near North District School Board.
I don't think the minister should have to wait till the board is completely falling apart before he or she steps in.
Educators insist Bill 33 isn't about helping kids.
It is about silencing parents and local communities who know our schools best.
Bill 33 is a distraction from the conditions that exist in our schools today.
Conditions that can be rough for teachers and students.
Chronic underfunding, a crisis in understaffing, overcrowded classrooms, and workers and students facing daily violence with too few supports.
Democratically elected trustees feel shut out of the conversation.
We've been replaced by a single supervisor, someone with no experience in education, someone who certainly has never stepped foot into our schools.
Calandra is in the middle of a rethink of education governance, including potentially getting rid of trustees altogether.
Decisions are going to be made in downtown Toronto and not in your communities and not by anyone who is accountable to the voters of this province.
The education minister plans to make a call by the end of the year.
Siobhan Morris with that report. Okay, here's a live look outside. Our photographer, Dave Pettit, brings us this look from Ira Needles Boulevard in Waterloo. You know, it's been a pretty nice day out there. We've had a decent dose of sunshine today and mild conditions. Alex is at the desk with us in just a couple of moments to look over the rest of the forecast. Also ahead, trouble in Leaf Nation, what team management had to say today about a rough start to the season. And next, a warning from the opposition parties in Ottawa after Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget was narrowly passed. Alex is with us for our 7-day forecast. Now, it was a beautiful day out there today. Even though we're losing that sun a lot earlier, at least we got a decent amount of it today.
Yeah, we did. That sun now setting 4:55 in the afternoon.
And it only goes downhill from here.
It does, I know. But we got to enjoy at least a beautiful sunset. And to your point, it was really nice to get out and enjoy the sunshine. So hopefully you had a chance to head outside maybe for a walk or take advantage if you did have any outdoor plans with the kids earlier today. The good news, though, tomorrow might be another nice day to get out for a stroll.
Maybe finish raking up those leaves that you didn't get around to doing, because I still see there's quite a bit out there.
I know, all the outdoor chores, or maybe I noticed some people in our neighborhood starting to put out those Christmas lights already. This might be the time to do it. As we take a live look outside, though, from our tower cam overlooking the city of Kitchener, yes, it looks more like 9 o'clock than it does, 6:30-ish or so right now. 6:30, let me see, 6:33 officially, yes. And it's looking like 9 o'clock out night with that sun setting before 5 o'clock officially. So those days getting shorter and shorter. I know we've been a little bit of a broken record with that. But as we get closer and closer to the first day of winter, still well over a month away, we are definitely starting to notice that. When we look at our future cast, though, just a little bit of cloud cover for us here in Waterloo Region and surrounding areas at this point. We could get some nice clear breaks, so similar to what we saw this afternoon as we get into the overnight. Getting into your Wednesday, another day, mix of sun and cloud is expected. Overall, another fairly mild day we should anticipate, which would be nice to see. It's really not until Thursday we could see a little bit more of that cloud cover start to build as it makes its way towards from the east, rather. And then Friday, that potentially is when we could see a little bit of chance for some wet weather. In terms of temperatures right across the province this hour, -3 in Ottawa, -6 in Sudbury. It is -1 this hour in Thunder Bay tonight. Similar conditions in Mount Forest and a little bit warmer, 3 degrees in Wyerton this evening. For us here in Waterloo Region, we are sitting at -1. We did hit a daytime high of 4 degrees earlier this afternoon. Our expected daytime high was supposed to be just 3, so we got a little treat from Mother Nature, 2 right now in Hamilton this evening. So as we get into the overnight, -5 is our expected low. With that wind chill, though, feeling more like -9 overnight. Partly cloudy conditions, and the winds about 15 kilometers an hour or so. Those wind gusts expected to be pretty much similar as we get into your day tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud once again. Daytime high expected 4 degrees. So in terms of our daytime highs and lows, we are sitting pretty close to seasonal for this time of year. Quite warm, though, on this day in 2016. That was our daytime record high 19.5 degrees. And yes, as we mentioned, that sun setting 5 minutes before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that sun rising later and later as well, 1 minute before 7:20 in the morning officially now. So for the next several days, yes, we could be in for a little bit more sunshine, as we noted, for tomorrow, before things get a little bit more gray with, yes, a chance for a bit of wet weather possibly for your Friday. But at this point, I know it's still early, but the weekend looking pretty nice. So if it sticks like that, that could be another nice opportunity to get outside and finish off those outdoor chores. And Tony, are again putting those lights up.
For late November, that's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. For Wellington, Kent, and Essex, some nice vitamin D in store for you. 7 degrees, so a pretty warm day overall. You potentially could get up to double digits by Friday. Just a slight chance for some showers at this point for you. And southern Georgian Bay, mainly sunny sky. 4 degrees, -1 is your expected overnight low for tomorrow, before potentially you could be in for a little bit of a stretch of a bit more cloud cover, and with that, possibly a bit more active weather. And here is tonight's weather. Watch your picture. Yes, okay, so while some might not be ready for winter-like conditions, Norma here is soaking up every flake. Brian sending this shot of his pup over, saying that Norma's loving the weather out there on Elk Valley Trail in St. Jacobs. She's got quite the smile to prove it as well.
I love it.
So cute. Thank you so much for sending this, Brian, and being tonight's weather watcher. So obviously the shot taken a little bit earlier in the week, if not the weekend. And I think some pups are enjoying the snow. I know Mr. Kodak is a little bit.
I'll bet he is.
You know?
Yeah, he's been looking very happy lately.
Yes.
I think that, you know, it helps us get into the sort of spirit of it as well, right? When we can see how happy it makes the puppers.
Exactly. And hey, when we get a little bit of sun out there too, and conditions are cooling down a little bit, it just makes it a little more enjoyable.
Oh, yes. All right, Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you shortly. One day after Mark Carney's government narrowly dodged a budget bullet and a Christmas election, the opposition made it clear, don't expect smooth sailing ahead. Let's head over to CTV senior political correspondent Mike Lecouture now for more.
I declare the motion carried on division.
Another day, another confidence vote that the Liberals survive.
No, it was going to be one a day for a long time.
Behind the sarcasm is some truth about votes to come. Yesterday's budget vote only passed because a number of opposition MPs abstained.
We hope that opposition parties will continue to dialogue constructively with us about how we can potentially make those things better, but mostly so that we can make Parliament work.
But the Bloc Québécois is promising a rough ride.
So they will live the same anxiety that we have seen this morning, because at each step of this long process, including the committee, they will have to start all over again because they were not good partners for anybody.
Some opposition MPs said they reluctantly voted to pass the budget instead of plunging the country into a Christmas election.
Maybe 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but the country's got to change direction.
There will be other confidence votes as the budget works its way through the implementation process. And one NDP MP who abstained yesterday says his support isn't guaranteed.
Absolutely confident that I'll be holding this government to account, and we'll be fighting hard for everyday people.
And the Prime Minister says his budget is for those same people who need social programs like childcare, dental care, and pharmacare.
I salute the 170 members of the House who supported it. I'm glad it came through, and we're going to continue to work on implementing it.
The Prime Minister now heads to the UAE and the G20. And because of how close last night's vote was, it's unlikely the Liberals will test the confidence of the House until Mark Carney returns next week. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Next, a list that nobody's celebrating. CTV's Pat Foran has new data on the most stolen cars in the country in what's become a billion-dollar criminal business.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army. We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
The annual list of the most stolen vehicles in Canada is out, and a new model is taking top spot. And while auto theft is on the decline, the cost to insurance companies is not. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
No one wants to have their vehicle stolen. The headaches with replacing it, the expense, dealing with police and insurance is a major hassle.
I went out of the house and the car that is normally there was gone.
Rebecca Cuthbertson of Stratford was visiting family in Toronto when her car was stolen last night. It was found in a school parking lot this morning, likely waiting there to be scooped up by thieves.
It does feel like a violation. Just that she's got her back window smashed, and I'm not allowed to touch the car, go into it. It's been taken for fingerprinting.
Cuthbertson's 2019 Honda Civic is one of the most stolen cars in Canada. Topping the list nationally is the Toyota RAV4, a favorite for thieves worldwide.
It's very serviceable globally. It's a good utility vehicle, meaning it can be used in a variety of terrains and jurisdictions.
In Ontario, the Honda CR-V is the most stolen vehicle, followed by the Dodge Ram 1500 series, Honda Civic, Jeep Wrangler, and Ford F-150 series. Rounding out the top 10, the Toyota Tundra, Lexus RX, the RAV4, Toyota Highlander, and Land Rover Range Rover series.
Even though the auto insurance industry lost $1 billion to auto theft last year, investigators say at least when it comes to stealing cars, the trend is going down and not up.
There was an overall decrease in auto theft across Canada of 19%, but in the first half of this year, auto thefts in Ontario were down by almost 26%.
We're not out of the woods yet, but definitely continuing doing what we're doing and combating this vehicle crime to make Canadians safe.
As for Cuthbertson, she refers to her car as Grace and can't wait to get her back.
I'm glad they found her. It's going to be a few days before I can have access to her again. I am very happy she's been found.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Let's recap our top stories. Leanne Evans in studio as we continue to follow two shooting investigations locally.
Yeah, Tony, the first happened early Sunday morning, people shooting at each other between two vehicles in Waterloo. Then the second happened this morning at a home in Cambridge just before 2 a.m. Police releasing this video tonight from Cambridge, looking to identify the owner and occupants of the vehicle. The home was riddled with more than a dozen bullets, but police say no one was hurt. They believe this was a targeted attack. 5 suspects were arrested Monday night for an attempted jewelry store robbery at the Cambridge Centre. The suspects range in age from 15 to 22 and hail from Toronto. Police believe the group was connected to 4 other robberies yesterday and gun-related incidents in Waterloo Region as well as other jurisdictions. A 22-year-old man, a 19-year-old man, a 17-year-old boy, and 2 15-year-old boys were charged with robbery with a firearm.
And we've got some sad news on our website, too, about a pretty beloved community festival.
Yeah, Riverfest Elora, they're saying goodbye after 15 years in operation. Organizers making the announcement today, Riverfest Elora shutting down. They say they explored every possible path forward, but ultimately financial and economic pressures forced their hand. They will be in touch with people who purchased early bird tickets for 2026 to discuss the refund process. And Tony, of course, organizers thanking the countless amount of volunteers as well who helped out with this festival and the community for supporting them for all those years. Of course, you can read more about that, ctvnewskitchener.ca.
Yeah, that had been a staple for quite a while.
It certainly had.
Okay, Leanne, thank you.
Thank you.
A tree that's outgrown its front yard has a new home for the holidays. Coming up later, Ashley Bacon takes us on today's journey to cut down and then set up this year's big tree for Waterloo Public Square. The Maple Leafs are not off to a great start this season, and it's not just fans who've noticed. The general manager says the team's performing below expectations, and he takes responsibility. CTV's Sean Leathong has more.
On a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, the Leafs have more losses than wins. And on the day of their 20th game of the season, the general manager is putting the blame in one place.
We're not where we want to be or where we envision to be. Obviously, we've underperformed to this point. and I take full responsibility.
The Leafs' current record is 8 wins, 9 losses, and 2 overtime losses. They're tied with Buffalo for last in the Atlantic Division, and they're without a win in their last 5 games. And Treliving says he hasn't liked the team's identity thus far.
I think there's been too much vanilla with our team.
Treliving says he has belief in Coach Craig Berube, and while both the GM and coach admit the effort has been lacking at times, Berube says he's seeing that turn a corner.
We all want effort, right? That's very important, and there's been times where it's lacking for sure. I haven't seen that lately.
Going in the right direction, but lacking results, as both say there won't be major changes to the team, so the players have to battle through adversity.
The good thing about adversity is, there's a chance to climb out of it and come through and see the other side, so that's what we need here.
There are also injuries. Captain Austin Matthews is out, as is goalie Anthony Stolars, along with defenseman Chris Tanev and center Nicholas Roy.
And while the Leafs are affected by those key injuries, it's also created opportunity for some younger players to prove themselves in the NHL.
While 20-year-old Easton Cowan will continue to see ice with the Leafs, 23-year-old Jacob Quillen will make his season debut against the St. Louis Blues tonight.
Yeah, just try to focus on what I can do and, what I can do to help the team win. I feel confident, scoring a lot in practice, so eventually they're going to start going in, but just got to stay positive.
Staying positive, staying patient, and finding their identity. A difficult place to be, but a lot of time to turn it around. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
And we've got more news coming up. First, let's check in with Alex.
We are currently sitting at -1, but as we get into the overnight, expected to drop down to -5 tonight. Looking ahead at tomorrow morning, I'll let you know how cool it is to start off your day and wake up weather coming up. Here's a look at your Tuesday night lineup. Stick around for E-Talk at 7 o'clock, right after CTV. Then The Big Bang Theory before MasterChef Canada at 8. Then The Traitors Canada before The Pit.
Tonight, a reality check on the Canadian dream.
Canada's most capable immigrants are, in fact, most likely to leave.
A new snapshot on why Canada is struggling to retain some of its highest skilled immigrants. Later on CTV National News.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's check in with Leanne now for a look ahead to some of the stories we'll have tonight at 11:30. Leanne?
Tony, Woolwich Township has been facing criticism after people in Breslau were billed nearly $14,000 for decade-old sewer work. Well, council's meeting tonight to discuss it and who really should cover the costs and the communication breakdown. Also tonight, Kitchener Rangers facing off against their rival Guelph Storm. Puck drop 7 p.m. at the Odd. We'll be keeping an eye on the game and bringing you those details at 11:30. Tony.
All right, Leanne, thank you very much for that. Alex is here with our wake-up weather for Wednesday, midpoint of the week, and let's hope we haven't peaked already weather-wise this week.
Now, another nice day in store for tomorrow. Not a bad day today, like we said. Hopefully you got a chance to get out and enjoy. And looks like we could be in for some sunshine as early as 7, 8 o'clock or so. -3, so a little bit chilly. By 10, we should be hitting about 1 and sticking pretty close to seasonal overall for tomorrow. So another, like we said, nice day to really enjoy that vitamin D.
Looking forward to that. It's been a decent week so far. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Okay, and finally tonight, as we get closer to December, it's starting to look a lot like Christmas around some of the community. This year's big tree now in place in the public square in Uptown Waterloo.
And always, there's, of course, a story behind it. CTV's Ashley Bacon was there first thing this morning to capture it for us.
For the last 2 decades, this spruce has called Crestwood Avenue in Kitchener home, but it's outgrown its current space.
I think it's a little bit too big now, and I need to get rid of it.
And Henny Gottfried decided it needed a new purpose.
So I thought, it's actually a nice tree. Maybe I try to donate it. I tried City of Kitchener, I phoned them, and then I phoned Waterloo. So, and Waterloo liked it. Going to be a nice Christmas tree. I think everybody will like it.
The City of Waterloo says this tree was meant to be. It's got all the right specs they were looking for.
The family was looking to get rid of it and had reached out and
got it in our hands, and it came out. It was a perfect tree this year, shape, form, everything like that.
But logistically, moving a tree that weighs around a ton, 2,100 pounds to be specific, can be a challenge.
We got some hydro wires behind us, so pull it up over top of the hydro wires, get it onto the tag-along trailer, and then crews will navigate their way to uptown. So once we get uptown, it's very tight there, so we have to kind of navigate with the LRT and all the different pieces of the puzzle there.
After slowly making its way through town, it arrived here at Waterloo Square to the delight of people who were watching.
I think it's very exciting to actually see it go up, because now it's in the spirit of Christmas, and it's just really fun to see it go up.
And a big accomplishment for the crew who got it done.
It kind of kicks off the Christmas season, the holiday season in uptown Waterloo, so it's a lot of fun for us.
Now that the tree has been installed, Christmas and holiday enthusiasts will have to wait until December 5th for the tree lighting ceremony. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Waterloo.
Great story from Ashley, and I just love the uptown tree every year. There's something about it, and the place where it sits in the public square, all of the businesses lit up around it. Oh, I'm thinking of Christmas already. Yes, I am.
You're getting ready, but hey, now's the best time. You know, it's not that far away.
Not at all.
And I love how we are using, you know, a tree from a local community member to being donated. That is just so special, and I think they're right. I don't know if you could find a more perfect tree.
Well, it was perfect, but I thought of another winner in all of this. Henny's going to get more sun in her living room window now, because that giant tree isn't there anymore.
Yeah, that's. I'm very impressed that over the years she's been able to just keep it there, and yes, maybe gets a little bit more sunlight.
Well, all working out the way it was supposed to, I guess. That's our time. Thanks for watching. Krista Simpson is back with your next local news tonight at 11:30. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Take care.